What's up? I'm Bicycling Through That, and I'm here to show you how to fix your flat tire on your bicycle on your own and with just a few tools. This is especially important if you're a woman or if you ride long distance or to remote areas without cell phone service. If you've never done it before, it can be a little challenging at first, but it is completely doable. Let's get started. Pictured here is everything you need to carry on your person to repair or replace a flat. The first thing we're going to do is grab your multi-tool and loosen those brake pads. So, using the right size hex key on your multi-tool, insert your key into the braking system bolt, turn it counterclockwise, and loosen it just enough so that the brake pads loosen, but you don't want them to come out of the brake pad holder. Now that they're loose, check to make sure you have enough room for the tire to release downward. There should be space in between the pads and the tire rim. Next up, we're going to remove the wheel from the bicycle frame. Grab the quick release lever and turn it counterclockwise until the rod in the middle, that's called a skewer rod, becomes loose. Remove the rod and also the threaded cap and springs on the other side of the tire. Keep them somewhere where they won't get lost. If your tire is too full of air, you will need to deflate it now so that it can release from between your brake pads. Now you're ready to separate the wheel from the frame of your bike. Once you've lifted up on the fork and pulled the wheel out from the bottom, ensure the bolt on your braking system is tight enough so that it won't fall off. Now that we have the wheel off, we're going to loosen the lip of the tire from the frame. You can do this manually by jiggling it off with your hands. There are two ends on the tire levers. You're going to choose the flat end to help pry the tire off of the rim. Using the flat end facing down, scoop the edge in between the tire and the rim and pull upward on the lip of the tire, and try to pull the tire up toward you and out of or onto the top of the rim. This is the most difficult step in the process, and you will probably have to try many different techniques with the levers depending on your strength and success with how much of the tire you're able to separate from the rim on your first try. I needed more strength to separate the tire, so I'm utilizing 4 levers in the same place, and I'm using a seesaw technique to create enough leverage to hoist the tire lip up and over the rim, and this time it seemed to work out for me just fine. Whoa, that was a workout. Success. Now we are going to take a water break. Okay, after that, we are going to inspect the rim, and we're inspecting the tape on the rim to ensure that there's no metal poking through the tape, which might have caused a puncture in the tire's inner tube. I don't see anything, so I'm also going to check the rim itself for any defects. None here, and everything looks good. The next most obvious place to inspect, of course, is the inner tube itself, which sits within the tire. If there's a hole or puncture, it can be repaired as long as the hole is not near the valve stem, as long as it's not a linear tear, and as long as the hole isn't very large. So to figure out where the hole is in this inner tube, we're going to pump the tube back up. Now that it's pumped up, we're going to listen for the leak, figure out where it is, and hopefully there is only one leak. All right, we've located the site of the leak. So what we want to do next is grab our tire repair kit and some rubbing alcohol, and we're going to clean the site of the hole with rubbing alcohol. If you don't have any on hand, you could just use warm soapy water, but make sure the damaged site is clean and dry. If you're out somewhere and you don't have access to soap or water, just try your best to clean it off with your shirt, but having water or some sort of rubbing alcohol really is ideal to clean the site of the hole. The hole is very tiny, so I'm going to mark the puncture site with a Sharpie. Now grab your tire repair kit, and you're going to select the piece that looks like sandpaper. and you're going to gently buff the area where the hole is. Don't over buff it, but buff it enough so that it will create some traction for the patch and the glue to stick to. Pump your inner tube back up if needed, and grab your glue. Place the glue even and thick over the entire hole. Make sure you cover it thoroughly or your patch job will not be a success. Let the glue dry for a minimum of 8 minutes. Now grab your patch. Peel off the foil backing and place the patch sticky side down so that it covers the entire area of the puncture site. You're going to want to press firmly around the edges and peel off the plastic top. Now before we place the tube back into the tire, we need to test it to ensure that the patch is working and no air leaks out of the patch site. Now that we know the patch job worked, we're going to use our multi-tool to deflate the inner tube once again. And now we're going to place our inner tube back into the tire. Ensure that the tube is not twisted, and you'll also need to make sure that the inner tube's valve is facing toward the center of the circle. While you're at it, you could also check the tire to make sure that there is no puncture wounds inside the tire as well. I checked previously and I didn't see any. Once this is complete, we have to stretch the tire back onto the rim. The first thing we are going to do is to locate the valve on the tube and also the valve hole on the rim and make sure they line up together. Push the valve into the rim and gently pull it through. Now grab your tire levers once again because we're going to need them to push this tire back into its rim. This time we'll be utilizing the hook side of the tire lever. Grab the lip of the rim with the lever hook and slip the hook under the rim and pull the tire back onto the rim. Be careful not to push or pull the inner tube. Once you've gotten both sides of the tire worked back into the rim, you can get ready to put the tire back onto your bicycle. Of course, this whole process is much easier with a bike repair stand or someone to help you, but I don't have either of those, so I'm going to make it work on my own. Make sure your brakes are still loose enough to push the tire up in between the pads. Now grab the bicycle fork and align it back onto the tire hub. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and replace your skewer rod, springs, and thread cap. Now tighten your quick release, tighten your brakes, and re-inflate your repaired tire to the proper PSI required for your bike. Congratulations, you've successfully and independently repaired your bicycle tire. Follow Bicycling Fruit Bat for more TikToks and follow @BikeOffTheEarth on Instagram and to check out my website. I hope to see you over there.